Good afternoon, Patriots. How you all doing? That was weak. Hello, Patriots. How you doing today? All right. We're not ashamed of being out here. I'm going to ask you a question. How many of you, I'm going to ask you this one question, and after this question, do not raise your hand, but raise your hand for this question. How many of you believe that there would be a scarcity of news if everyone obeyed the 10 Commandments? There would be a scarcity of news. Okay. When we had the situation down in Alabama where the judge fought and stood for the 10 Commandments to be out front of the court building, many called Judge Roy Moore a courageous individual, and that's good. But let me tell you something, Patriots. It's a crying shame when you say that we should keep the 10 Commandments in front of a building and you don't even know the 10 Commandments by heart. And it's because we've forgotten the foundation. We're in the state of affairs we're in today. Now, I'm not here to preach to you, but I'm going to tell you something. The 8th, 9th, and 10th Commandments play right into what's going on in our government today, because the 8th commandment says, thou shalt not steal. The 9th commandment says, you shall not bear false witness. And the 10th says, you shall not covet or want something that doesn't belong to you. God says in his word, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked way, then I shall hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. But we want God to do all of that, but we don't want to commit and fast and pray and seek God and get our hearts right before him. We want the benefits, but we don't want to pay anything. That's wrong. Oh, I knew it was going to get a little quiet. But let me tell you something. There are people who are wanting to bring this country to hell. And it's going to take the hand of Almighty God, but judgment starts at the house of God. Judgment starts with God's people. And if we believe in these things, we should walk the talk. And that's what it's all about. I don't believe you should go around trying to proselytize people. I don't believe you should go around trying to judge people. I believe the words of St. Francis. St. Francis of Assisi said, preach the gospel, use words if necessary. That deserves a hand right there.
That's right.
Unfortunately, we have too many people wanting to go around and preach with their lips while their heart is far from the living God. It's incumbent upon us to get it right. And I'm telling you something, you're in a fool's paradise if you think this nation is going to be brought back from the precipice of the cliff without the hand of Almighty God. It's not going to happen. The preamble to our Constitution, we the people of the United States. The government is of the people. And I think we can change the complexion in Washington, D.C. if every state in the union would put on their rolls, on their law rolls, recall bills, provisions to bring people back from D.C. who don't listen to the people.
Right.
Yeah. The state of California, as flawed as California is, and I'm telling you, we don't have enough time to go into it, but they got one thing right. They had on the books the provision to recall a governor that was not listening to the people. If that existed across the nation, it would have an impact of what's going on in D.C. And we need to move and encourage other states to do that. This matter of the rule of law is really what's at stake. I've heard many people talk about illegals in the country taking our benefits, going to emergency rooms, and we're paying the tax dollars and this, that, and the other. Yes, that is true in instances. But you have lost the picture if you are focusing on benefits that illegals are taking from the taxpayer. The fact of the matter is there are some people who have been here illegally that have not taken one dime in the emergency rooms from state budgets. But we have something called the rule of law. And if you break the law, you should pay the consequences. That's what's at stake. If I went to any of your homes when you were not here, and I saw that if you were on vacation and I pulled your window up and went into your home and found everything in disarray, dishes stacked 5 feet high in the sink, floors dirty, beds unmade, laundry not washed, and I proceeded to wash, dry, fold, iron clothes, clean all the floors, get everything in order, even go into your refrigerator and take food out and fix you a sumptuous meal when you got back. If you walked through the door and found me in your home, you get and you call 911, there's an intruder in my home. It is not for me to start talking about all the good that I did. They're taking you off of what is the real point. The point is the rule of law. And even if I had good intentions, if you do not follow the rule of law, you suffer the consequences. That's what's at stake, and we should continue to focus on that with this issue of illegal immigration and stand by the state of Arizona and every other state that is going to uphold the rule of law. I'm going to wrap this last thing up since we're talking about restoring the Constitution. We had 2 senators, McCain and Feingold, that have their name on a bill that was called McCain-Feingold for Finance Reform, and they yah, and big whoop. We will never change the culture of corruption in Washington, D.C. And someone earlier was talking about iCaucus. I was at a presentation that iCaucus gave. It was outstanding. Yeah. And they talked about what's going on in D.C. Let me break it down simply for you. A plus B equals C. A is the money. Follow the money for whoever's paying the money or whoever's delivering the money. That's A. B is the legislator that is the recipient of campaign contributions or personal under-the-table contributions. That's A plus B. You have corrupted the system. It equals or yields C. C is legislation that has earmarks, that has line items, that has pork in it, that winds up being a payoff to a company that had the lobbyists or had the special interests give to those legislators so they can vote a certain way. It doesn't always mean millions of dollars to a company, but it may wind up being an exemption from law. But whatever C is, whatever favor a private entity gets from our tax dollars, that's where the corruption is. And until we change it to where it's no longer profitable for them to have that put into bills and legislation, we are always going to have A and B. We've got to change it to where the laws that are passed benefit the people, the states, and not private entities. Private entities get federal money through the contracts and bidding process. Do you agree? Yeah. That's the way it should be. And until we change the culture to where there is an incentive or the return on investment is that great, you're not going to change D.C. I pledge to you, as the next representative of North Carolina's 13th Congressional District, that I will go and do the bidding of the people. I cannot be bought. And I'm telling you something. We have a country that, as Ronald Reagan says, is the last bastion of freedom on earth. And we are going to stand all the way for the United States of America. God bless each and every one of you. God bless the United States of America.